Morning. It's May 2nd, almost 50 degrees. We're a week before Mother's Day here in central Indiana. We usually plan around Mother's Day, but the weather this morning said the next 7 days are going to be in the 70s during the day and the mid 50s at night. So we're going to try to get some of these tomato plants planted. You can see here they're in 32-ounce cups, and it's time to go ahead and get them in the ground. They're outgrowing me. I was hoping for them to be a little smaller, but they outgrew me a little bit there. So what I've done is I've dug the hole out to where I can plant them deep, and how I plant them is, let's see, they're probably almost a foot deep in there. So what I'll add is I've got a 1/4 cup of lime that I'll put in the bottom of the hole. We've got a 1/4 cup of bone meal that we'll put in the hole. And I've got a 1/4 cup of this tomato and vegetable fertilizer. It's a 364 low nitrogen. So we'll put that in the bottom of the hole. Get in here and stir all that in really well. And there again, you can see it's almost a foot deep that I plant these things. They're way past planting time. I started them a little early. I went from an 8-ounce cup to a 16-ounce cup to a 32-ounce cup, and now it's time to plant them. What we'll do is we'll throw a couple of handfuls of soil back in there. We'll see just how root bound these things are. Which I'm pretty sure they're pretty severely root bound. Can't even get them out of the cups. Oh yeah. You can see that they're way past time to get planted. So what I'll do is I'll break that up a little bit on the bottom so they don't keep spiraling around. And we'll turn this thing. Let me see. Maybe something like that. And that's going to allow me to fill it back in. I'll go ahead and add a little Pro Mix in there too. We'll get some Pro Mix in there around it. Turn that how we want it. Now, tomato plants you can plant deep. You actually want to plant them deeper because these white hairs coming off the main stalk here, everywhere there's a white hair, that's where they'll root from. Unlike other plants that you want to plant at the same depth, tomatoes, you can plant deeper. What we're going to do is mash that thing down in there. can see, I've been amending this soil for many years. It's nice and dark and rich. We'll get these things planted. Hopefully the weather holds out. If I have to break out the frost blankets, I will, but the weather on the local news this morning said we're going to be just fine for the next few days. Actually, the next week. Mother's Day is Sunday. Today's Monday. And then what I'll do, let me grab my scissors. And I'll go ahead and these short little close to the ground limbs, we're going to go ahead and cut those off. And I'll take all that out from there and I'll cut this, cut that. And that's going to help that plant not get disease, because when if I'd have left them on the ground like that, when it rains, diseases in your soil splashes up on a tomato plant leaves, and they're notorious for getting diseases. So we'll cut that out of there, and we'll go ahead and mound that soil back up around there. And as I've been mowing, I added my last year's leaves. They're composting down. And I don't fertilize my lawn or put any chemicals on it. So we take and spread that out on here too. And we'll add that as like a mulch. And there you go. Like I said, we've got one more week before we're supposed to be planting, but I think we're going to be good after watching the 7-day forecast. And I'll show you a reason I'm trying to go ahead and get them in the ground. You can see these tomatoes right here on this plant. These are a Burpee Super Sauce tomato. And they're like a giant paste tomato. We do a lot of canning for tomato sauces. I usually can 30, 40 quarts of tomato sauce to get us through the year. And you can see these things are already getting tomatoes, and they're terribly root bound in these cups, which is forcing me to go ahead and get started a little early. But you can see how nice and big these plants are, even in a 32-ounce cup. They're still doing great. This is a 3.5-gallon bucket. They're probably close to 2 feet tall, maybe even taller. Some of them are even taller. But I got to go ahead and get these in the ground, and when you plant them, strip out your bottom leaves like that. Plant them deep. I add the lime for a little bit to help with the blossom end rot. And we add the Pro Mix for the peat moss in there. And then we do bone meal to help with the flowering, because they've already got flowers on them in tomatoes. And then we do a low nitrogen tomato and vegetable organic fertilizer. Everything here is organic. We water them with rainwater. And I'm going to go ahead and get these last 6 in here. And then I got 6 more to do over there. And there's the video on how I do tomatoes. I'll keep you updated in future videos on what we do and what they look like. And maybe we'll get a good harvest this year off of them. We'll get some videos of that. There you go. Thanks for watching.